All right, so fuck it. I've been looking at a lot of things and see things a little bit differently. Like with Cain, Abel, Seth, so on and so forth, and blah 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 blah. I've been kind of doing a little bit of research, and my understanding is that when Cain killed Abel, Cain killed Abel's bloodline. Period. Boom. Done. Um, there's a couple things I question about that. One being, I don't think anybody had ever died before, and Cain and Abel were brothers. So I'm sure they fought thousands of times before, and it was probably just an accident that he killed them. I mean, not that he shouldn't be sad or feel regretful, but a lot of people depict it as premeditated murder, and I don't know if that was even a possible thought. Nobody had died before at that point in time, so I don't think they even knew that they were mortal beings. They probably didn't know anything that they were immortal. Anyway, well, maybe animals died around them. I don't know, but the idea that nobody had died before then, I don't think would really consist of premeditated murder. But anyways, so Cain, so Adam and Eve were given a third child, Seth, and he multiplied and this and that and everything else. Well, obviously there's this whole idea of incest. You know what I'm saying? And we're all supposed to be born of sin. Because, obviously if Adam and Eve was the first human beings and there was nobody else to breed with, blah, 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 we're all born of sin. So that's what I'm being told, but that's not what I'm believing, because I'm believing in God and that God intended for things to be the way that things work. He could have created another person as easily as he created Adam and Eve. When you understand evolution and how mutation and everything else works like that, you can have a conversation with God about that. But to say that he didn't know what he was doing and we're all born of sin, I think is ignorant in itself. Things happen the way they happen because they have to happen the way they happen. And I think God's smart enough to know that. So anyway, apparently Cain's bloodline, he was also the first person to go through the 5 stages of whatever it is, and I guess the second stage of that is anger, and maybe he just got caught up in his anger. I don't know. But so God figured to flood the world, and Seth's bloodline was the only one allowed to live after that. So everything after the flood was of, again, one bloodline. And again, we're all children born of sin. Well, whatever. It went on for another 1,500 years or something like that. And then there was, when people evolved to a point where they were starting to figure out right and wrong, this and that and everything else. And not only that, but probably more importantly, the mutations that were occurring in people's bodies. This is when God put the ancestral law out that this is when he commanded that it not be done. At this point, what happens is if the father and the mother have the same mutated gene and they have a child with that mutation or that mutated genes, both of them being the same, then it spreads disease and famine. And so the idea was to split the world into languages, and I couldn't really find a number to go along with it, but I'm assuming it's 12 because there's 12 tribes in Revelations, and I think people were split up into 12 tribes at that point. When that was done, then okay, so mutation's happening. It's evolution. It's the natural course of things. So, but the way he split it was so that people breeded still, but the mutated gene wasn't the same in the mother and the father that affected the children in disease and famine. You know what I'm saying? So that was the whole thing about that. And so just to give you an idea where I'm coming from when I'm talking about Planned Parenthood and data banks and this and that and everything else, if God said those people are royalty, okay, what did I just tell you? I told you that disease and famine, I'm telling you that the antibodies for everything is there, and that mutations and everything like that, and the way that people were breeding caused it, diseases, But if you're a royal bloodline and you stay true, to God, then you have the antibodies basically to defeat any disease or anything like that. So I think, in a way, we're almost in America, because we're the melting pot of civilization. We're and this is a worthy thing to do. Reverse engineer to if Seth and Abel were both the children of Adam and Eve, it would still be possible to reverse engineer Adam, basically, or not Adam, but Abel. So if you keep these data banks and you give everybody a number and this and that, and you're collecting DNA and everything like that, I'm for real. This is like for real. So, and also, I'm not saying that royalty didn't get corrupted along the way, and maybe not even the rightful heir to the throne sitting on the throne. You know what I'm saying? And I doubt there was like 130 different royalties, and all this and that and everything else. And it might have, I could be wrong, because I'm talking about evolution here, and I ain't really looked into it. But when I'm talking about those genes, those mutated genes, and how they combine and birth disease, or beget disease, or whatever you want to say, I'm being for real. And when I'm talking about collecting DNA and everything like that, I'm being for real. And when I'm talking about kings living in America, I'm being for real. We're basically reverse engineering things that we didn't have the capability of collecting data on 4,000 years ago. So, yeah, it is what it is. Whatever. I just want to record those thoughts.